At the beginning of the story, we learn that people have been cursed, causing their souls to become corrupted and turning them into monsters. It can also be said that those with evil souls become monsters. The more evil the soul, the more dangerous the monster. These monsters can only be killed by fire, that too at a special time when their nose is bleeding. This time is called the golden period in these series. Nose bleeding means that they are infected and are going to turn into a monster. Interestingly, in this series, people who have become monsters are not called infected but are called cursed, because their becoming a monster is related to their souls. There are many people who can control their monster form. If a person stops himself from becoming a monster for more than 15 days, then he is considered a new human, because he then reaches a stable period. After that, his monster is completely in his control. These scene cuts, and we are shown some survivors sitting in a truck who have not yet been cursed. These survivors belong to the green home apartments from where this curse started. These survivors were being taken to the military base. Now the scene cuts, and we are shown a boy named Young-soo in another van. Young-soo is a neo-human, means despite being cursed, he was able to control his monster for many days. In this way, vaccines could be made for all the other survivors from his blood. That's why he was being taken to the military science lab, and Song W was doing this job. The scene cut S, and we are shown Dr. Lim in the lab trying to make a vaccine by experimenting on a human being who has become a monster but has failed so far. These scenes shift back to Young-soo. He was sleeping and now suddenly comes to his senses and sees that his driver named Song-wook is driving him away from the military. At this time, Song-wook is also not in his senses because his monster had just overpowered him, and Young-soo had noticed this. That's why he tries to stop this car while fighting Song-wook. It can be seen that a girl named EQ was also following him, which was previously a part of the military force. Along with that, many military vans and helicopters were also following them to stop them from moving forward. The military breaks the front bridge with their bombs, but cleverly, Song-wook pushes his car forward from below the bridge. The military could not even attack his car because in this case, Young-soo's life could be in danger, and in any case, Song-wook should have been alive because she was the last neo-human through whom the hope of making this vaccine and saving humans had arisen. Here, EQ stops her car near the military car and can hear two military officers talking. They were saying that there are some other neo-human in the military base, but they still need Young-soo for a better experiment. As he goes there, the rest of the neo-humans will be killed because they will be of no use to them. The scene cuts, and we are shown the survivors of the green home apartment again. Although they were being taken to the military base, they had to stop because the bridge was broken on the way. If they wanted to move forward, they had to remove the bridge there, which is also done by the survivors, and we are shown that these soldiers are behaving very badly with the survivors. During this, a man's nose starts bleeding and the soldiers hold him thinking that he may have turned into a monster, but here his wife shouts and tells everyone, "No, don't kill him, he has blood cancer." The soldiers shoot him saying that if he dies, we will believe that he is not infected. After the shooting, the man dies and his family breaks down in grief. The girl who was killed by these soldiers, her dad gets angry at these soldiers. In response, These soldiers torture her and kill her. The soldier who was doing this bad thing, his mom was also in these survivors, who was crying and telling him to stop this cruelty. But that boy doesn't listen to anything. While removing the bridge, a survivor hears a child crying from inside the building. Before he could act, a huge monster came running back and forth. Everyone is scared to see it, and there is chaos. The soldiers start firing blindly at him. As a result, that monster does not die, but a lot of people are killed here. To kill this monster, a bomb is also used. As a result, more people were killed. The strange thing was that the monster had not yet attacked anyone. All the people who were killed by the soldiers. This monster was good. We guess that it also saves a girl and reaches her mom. As the opportunity comes, all the survivors sit in their trucks. Green home apartments survivors also sit in their trucks, whose driver was a military officer, Chung-yong. A monster had come here. Everyone's life was in danger. Chung-yong's senior tells him to run away from his truck. But he does not drive the truck away because a survivor, Lee Yoon, was still behind. Despite hearing his boss's scolding, he kept waiting for Lee Yoon. Lee Yoon was looking at the soldier who had just killed a boy and his dad. However, his mom had also forbidden him, and now he gets the punishment for his evil in this world because of the bullets fired by the military. His mom has also been killed. Seeing her, this officer is very sad and ends himself. Lee Yoon was watching all this quietly. After his death, she picks up the officer's gun and sits in her truck. After a while, Chung-yong also starts his truck. Chung-yong's senior officer was constantly getting angry at him. He even starts beating him, and seeing this, Lee Yoon gets angry. She points a gun at him and says, "Just do as I say, come on, take this truck back to Green Home Apartments." To save his life, Chung-yong's senior officer had to listen to him. The scene cuts and we are shown the Sam Bridge scene again, where these survivors were stuck and where the monster had come. To catch this monster, a new military team of Sergeant Takin comes. They come to the bridge and see that a lot of people had been killed. But they were not killed by the monster, but by the human bullets of the battle. After a second, they also see that big monster, and to catch it, they start firing at it. In the meantime, another sergeant sees this monster's baby monster, and it turns out that this monster had come here to save its child's life. It didn't want to kill anyone. Now this monster had also seen its baby. Before it comes to save it, the second sergeant puts his gun on its baby and stops it to move forward, and in this way, the rest of the military officers burn him and kill him. The monster's son is devastated to see its mother die. Here, the sergeant was going to kill this little monster, but suddenly Sergeant Tak comes and stops him and says, "Don't kill it." Then the second sergeant says, "Killing monsters is our duty and we have made this promise." And then Sergeant Tak says, "No, we have only promised to kill bad monsters that will harm humans." At the behest of Sergeant Tak, the second sergeant leaves this monster child, and this child goes away. The scene cuts and now we are shown to Young-soo. Sang-wook comes to a mall with him. He himself wears good clothes here and tells Young-soo to do the same, but Young-soo was not ready to listen to him. In response, Sang-wook says, "Oh, you thank me. I saved you and brought you here, otherwise you would have been in the lab right now and experiments were going on with you." Sang-wook says, "I had run away from the military lab, because I wanted to live, and there were worst experiments going on Mio humans. He tells Young-soo that he still wants to go back to the military base so that he can save all the remaining Mio humans from their dot. He also tells Young-soo that I am neither an evil person nor a bad monster. I do not kill anyone for no reason. I only kill those who do bad things. In front of him, Sang-wook also saves a girl from the monster while killing the monster and says to Young-soo, if you want, I will not kill anyone further, but for this, you will have to help me. You will have to save all the Mio humans from the military lab with me. Hearing about saving the lives of Mio humans, Young-soo is also ready to support Sang-wook. After that, they take a car and leave for the lab. Here, EQ had already arrived while changing clothes in the lab. Taking a major to the gunpoint, she accessed the lab because here she had to find her fiancé who was a Mio human, and he was brought into the lab for the experiment. Before finding her fiancé, he sees an experiment in the lab. To study the behavior of a monster, its mom is brought in front of it. First of all, the monster behaves very controlled. That's why the lab people tagged this monster in the yellow category, but by mistake, this monster cuts off its mom's fingers. Knowing it dangerous, the people here kill it with a fire gun, and seeing its son dying, its mom becomes sad. Here, Young-soo and Sang-wook, who were on the way to the lab, suddenly have an accident because Sang-wook, who was driving, his monster was controlling his mind. Sang-wook's memories kept flooding his mind, distracting him repeatedly until he had an accident. In the accident, Sang-wook was very injured. Young-soo was also injured, but he stood up. He saw around that many other soldiers were also injured here. A soldier was in great pain. He requests Young-soo, please kill me. Get me out of this pain. Poor Young-soo ends him while twisting his neck while listening to him. After this, Young-soo comes back to Sang-wook. Sang-wook was a monster whom he picked up and went inside the lab. He was not afraid to go inside the lab because he had volunteered himself. He wanted to use his help to create vaccines that could save others, but with every step, Sang-wook kept telling him, Young-soo, you're doing it wrong. Don't go inside, there is danger inside for you. But Young-soo doesn't listen to him, and as he moves forward, the military starts firing at him. The scene cuts, and we see Lee Yoon again, who brought the military truck back to Green Home Apartments. She wanted to find her brother here. Instead of Lee Yoon, her companion had kept the military officer at gunpoint while she was looking for her brother in the trash. She doesn't find her brother but discovers some of his belongings and a family photo he always kept with him. We know that he had some desires for his family, and because of these desires, his soul was cursed and turned into a monster. Here in the truck, we see a military officer tempting another survivor with the promise of a vaccine and shelter, and asks him to take the gun from the girl's hand. Doing this, when he is free, he immediately goes and catches Lee Yoon. Lee Yoon had tortured him so much, now she had to suffer this. He takes her to the truck while beating her and asks Chung Yong to tie up all the survivors. While Chung Yong was working, they heard the sounds of monsters. If they stayed here for too long, their lives could have been in danger. There were monsters. While tying the hands, Chung Yong loosens Lee Yoon's rope so that she can save everyone. Before they leave, they see a woman here. We know that a year ago, her son was killed and now she was out of her cocoon. she was also about to turn into a monster, and seeing her, it didn't seem that she was a human being. Chung-young's senior officer thinks that this is the monster whom they heard. That's why he tries to kill this woman while sprinkling petrol, but before he sets her on fire, a half-headed monster enters here. Its long arms, like the branches of a tree, stab the military officer's stomach and kill him. Here we see that a snake-like monster attacks Chung-young, but somehow he escapes from it. Quickly, he tells all the survivors to sit in a bus. After that, they leave in the bus. After they leave, we are shown another cocoon inside the building. This cocoon may belongs to Young-young, Lee Yoon's brother. They continue their journey, and along the way, Chung-young finds another survivor and brings them onto the bus. As night falls, they have to stop the bus, and they discover that a boy has turned into a monster inside, whom the man on the bus kills bravely. In this whole fight, by mistake, a girl was also killed because of the bullet they fired. All of them were very saddened by her death. Anyway, they couldn't take this girl's dead body from here, so they move ahead while leaving the girl's body. The scene cuts, and we are shown a lab scene where the body of Sang-wook is being taken out from a wrapper. Actually, the military people thought that he was dead, but as the military people open his bag, he suddenly regains consciousness and attacks the military officers standing in front of him, and saves himself. He hasn't fully healed yet, so he reaches the first aid box while crawling and injects an energy injection. The scene cuts, and we see SGT Tak, who is looking for all his soldiers. He finds a lot of his soldiers dead around the bridge. He becomes sad to see that so many of his team members have been killed. Now, he tells his team to look for the rest of the soldiers, but then his companion SGT Kim says, "SGT, please, we should think about our remaining soldiers. We should go back to the military base." Even though he doesn't want to, SGT Tak has to listen to him because the chances of other soldiers surviving are only 1-2%. Before leaving, SGT Tak burns all the dead soldiers with respect and then moves on. Here in the lab, we see Young-soo. Dr. Lim had started an experiment on him. As an experiment, Young-soo is now soaked in blood, and in front of him is a very terrifying monster. It was aggressive. Dr. Lim wanted to know if Young-soo's monster would wake up to fight him with this aggressive monster. Suddenly, this huge monster attacks Young-soo. Young-soo's monster doesn't wake up, but now Young-soo's life is in danger. Before the monster could bite him, all his memories came flooding back. He remembers that time when he was a human. He says to Young-soo, "No, I can't attack anyone." He was saying this meanwhile, the other officers in the lab killed this monster by setting it on fire because they saw that the monster attacked Young-soo. They didn't even notice that the monster moved forward to attack, but it didn't hurt Young-soo. Seeing its death, Young-soo is very sad. He cries and says to Dr. Lim, "Why did you kill him?" "It wasn't evil." Dr. Lim replies, "When something is not useful, we kill it." Hearing this, Young-soo keeps crying. The monsters weren't as bad as they were told. Young-soo goes back to Dr. Lim and says, "I am ready to volunteer. You guys make a vaccine from me." Dr. Lim warns him that you can lose your life in this, but Young-soo was ready to save everyone at any cost. Here, we see that SGT Tak's entire team, along with Chung-young, has arrived at the safety camp with the survivors from Green Hall Apartments. SGT Tak sees all the survivors. Meanwhile, an officer comes and gives him Major's message that his team has been stopped from rescue duty because two surgeons have already been killed in this task. Sergeant Tak didn't understand why the Major took such a bad decision, where the Major says to him, "Sergeant, no matter how much we try, we can't save the humans." Sergeant Tak didn't understand him. Here the Major tells Sergeant Tak that if your force is in the safety camp, then you should go to the base because there is danger in the safety camp. The sergeant didn't understand the Major why he was saying this. Sergeant Tak also knew that the Major was definitely hiding something from him. Before the sergeant could ask him anything, the Major ends himself. Now the scene cuts, and we are shown the scene of the military lab again. EQ, who had come to this lab to find her fiancé, was now trying to go to another chamber, but she needs a pass for this. Feeling the movement, Dr. Lim comes and recognizes EQ and says, "Can I help you? Actually, I have recognized you. You are Sang-wook's fiancé, right? He is my friend. If you want to meet him, I can help you." Sang-wook was the Sam guy who brought Young-soo here. EQ didn't believe Dr. Lim, so she points a gun at Dr. Lim. Dr. Lim now takes her to a glass container in which Sang-wook was kept. Seeing him, she starts crying. Her condition worsens and she starts having stomach aches, and we discovered that EQ is pregnant. Dr. Lim tells EQ that EQ's baby is also cursed and infected. When he is born, he will be a monster because his father is a monster. Sang-wook was seeing all this from a distance. Dr. Lim is taken by a few soldiers to the Prime Minister, who tells Dr. Lim to open a briefcase in which Dr. Lim finds nothing. In fact, there should have been vaccines in it which Dr. Lim had hidden earlier. In anger, the Prime Minister shoots Dr. Lim's hand and tells Dr. Lim that soon the world will be ruled by monsters, but before all humans turn into monsters, I want to kill all humans. Dr. Lim starts laughing and tells the Prime Minister that if he does so, he will give him a vaccine so that he won't turn into a monster. Hearing this, the Prime Minister presses a button which blasts a lot of bombs in the safety camp, and the survivors kept there die. This mystery is revealed as to why the general wanted to keep SGT Tak away from the safety camp, because he already knew about the Prime Minister's bad intentions, and he couldn't even stop the Prime Minister. Thousands of people were killed because of the Prime Minister's attack. Despite all this, Dr. Lim doesn't give the vaccine to the Prime Minister because no vaccine had been made yet. Knowing the truth, the Prime Minister was about to kill Dr. Lim, but SGT Tak comes here at the right time and saves Dr. Lim by killing the Prime Minister and his entire team. We are shown in the lab that Sang-wook releases all the monsters in the lab, but Young-soo was stopping him from doing this. In the meantime, there is a fight between the two, and Sang-wook freezes Young-soo with his powers. Freezing him. He thinks maybe Young-soo died, so he leaves him there and moves ahead. The scene cuts, and we are shown the scene a year later. There are very few survivors left, and they have made the stadium their home. To take care of all them, there are two leaders. One is SGT Tak and the other is Chief G. SGT. Tak protects all of them. Chief G takes care of the stadium, repairs it and helps everyone. Chief G was good in everyone's eyes, but we came to know Chief G's big secret. She has actually hidden a monster in this stadium about which she does not let anyone know, not even her daughter. Anyway, now we see that Chief Ji calls to boys and gives them a task. This task was to follow Lee Yoon, who used to go out of the stadium every day in the hope of finding her brother. Chief Ji does not like Lee Yoon at all. She wants to kill her because she thinks that Lee Yoon is responsible for her husband's death. She doesn't tell anyone about Lee Yoon leaving the stadium because he wants her to become an infected monster, and making this a reason she would kill Lee Yoon. She hated Lee Yoon so much that she did not know that she wasn't responsible for her husband's death. Actually, in the past, a monster attacked Lee Yoon and her husband at the same time. After overpowering both of them, it left Lee Yoon but killed Chief Ji's husband, and since then, Chief thought that Lee Yoon was definitely behind her husband's death. Anyway, now we see in the present that Lee Yoon has come out of the stadium, and now the goons sent by Chief Ji are also behind her. Lee Yoon also knows that someone is behind her, so she escapes from there. Chief Ji's goons try to kill Lee Yoon with their guns, but she escapes from there. The factory where Lee Yoon was hiding, now the goons also move in it. Before they see Lee Yoon here, they see a girl sitting here named Ahi. She looks normal, but suddenly, she holds the boy's hand and turns him into a monster. The boy turns into a monster and kills his companion, and then a lot of monsters come out of the factory. One of these monsters attacked Lee Yoon, and before the monster kills Lee Yoon, someone comes and saves her. As Lee Yoon comes out of the factory, she sees Ahi in front of her. She was wearing the same cloth on her arm that Lee Yoon was wearing, and seeing this, Lee Yoon understood that she must have some contact with this girl. This girl, or maybe a friend, had saved her from a monster. Lee Yoon wants to know this. She wanted to know who Ahi was. She asks her to come with her, but we see that the third goon sent by the Chief Ji attacks them. Ahi stopped him, and after that, Ahi runs away from there without saying anything to Lee Yoon. In the stadium, we see that Chief Ji needed some people to repair the stadium wall. An old woman comes here and says to Chief Ji, "Can I also come with you? I will also be of great help to you." Actually, her purpose was not to volunteer, but to somehow get out of the stadium because she had cancer and she did not want to spend her last life here. As she comes out, this old lady takes advantage of the situation and runs away. She wanted to go far away from here, but by mistake, while running, she steps on the landmines. These were bombs placed under the ground that were placed to stop the monsters to enter the stadium. As she puts her foot on the landmine, Sergeant gets the news. He comes here to save her, and there was also a boy named Chung-won with him, who somehow put his hand on the landmine and saves her life. But just then he knows that this old lady is infected because her nose was bleeding. This meant that soon this old lady is also going to turn into a monster. Here, Sergeant Tak and Chung-won could have killed her, but they don't and lock her in a jail outside the stadium. Meanwhile, we see this old lady's son, who went to kill Lee Yoon at the behest of Chief Ji, reaches here in a bad condition. Chung-won picks him up and brings him to a small pharmacy built inside the stadium. Dr. Lims used to treat everyone in this pharmacy. He sees such a wound on this boy's hand that he had never seen before. This was shocking. He takes a blood sample and immediately tests it. He discovers monster cells in his blood, but surprisingly, he did not turn into a monster despite being infected. Now Dr. Lim asks this boy, "Where did you go?" And how do you get this wound? He tells that he went to a factory where a girl touched him, and as she touched him, he got this wound. This boy was talking about a Now it was necessary to bring out his monster form, or else this boy could infect other people. For this, Dr. Lim tells him the truth that your mom has become a monster. You will have to kill her to save everyone here. According to Dr. Lim, he takes poison and goes to his mom outside the stadium. He gives poison to his mom so that her mom can get rid of all this pain, but he sees that his mom did not die despite taking the poison. Seeing this, he gets angry and the monster inside him starts to come out. Due to it, he kills his mom mercilessly. Dr. Lim did not even think that he would react so badly. Dr. Lim immediately goes to Sergeant Tak and tells him about the boy who had monster cells in his blood, but there was no monster habit in him. He asks the sergeant what to do with the boy. Sergeant says, don't kill him, we have kept you here so that as many people as possible can be saved and people can be given hope that everyone will not turn into monsters, so please keep everyone's hope alive. Here, we find out that a soldier of Sergeant Tak had disappeared. Another soldier comes and informs him that he did not disappear but went out of the stadium because his wife was sick. He wanted to save her in any case. The soldier says he hasn't moved far, he must have gone to a pharmacy or a hospital where he could get medicine for his wife. Now we see Soldier Chung-won, who just saved an old lady's life. He knows that Lee Yoon daily goes out and he becomes afraid to know this, and he comes here to explain to Lee Yoon that please do not go out every day because other people's lives can also be in danger, including you. If one day you get infected, then everyone will die. They were talking meanwhile. Ahi comes. Ahi calls Lee Yoon's name and Lee Yoon is shocked and asks, how do you know me? Ahi says, if you want to know everything then come with me. Ahi moves her hand in front of her before Lee Yoon could hold her hand. Here, EQ. This girl, his mom, comes and quickly holds her hands and ties them with a cloth. She did this because her daughter had a strange power of monsters, because of which she could touch anyone and turn them into monsters. EQ tells Leong and Soldier Chung-won to leave. I don't need anyone. I just want to be alone. Saying this, she leaves with her daughter Ahi. Lee Yoon immediately comes to follow them and accidentally falls into a pit. Chung-won, who was following her, tries to save her by holding her hand, but someone from behind comes and pushes Chung, and they both fall into this pit. After falling into the pit, Lee Yoon tells Chung that there is someone in the outside world who saves her again and again. I don't know who he is. I want to find him who is saving me again and again. Lee Yoon says, I just want to see him once. Who is he? But I don't know why it feels like he doesn't want to come in front of me. Anyway, their conversation ends and so does the night. In the morning, someone throws a rope inside this pit with which they both come out. As they came out, they both wanted to see who had pulled them out of the pit. Before they could see, the monsters attacked them, and here, two people in strange costumes kill the monsters with their fire guns and save their lives. Lee Yoon asks them, who are you? But they tie their hands and lock them up in the factory without answering them. Here we see EQ, who was scolding her daughter Ahi at this time because she touched another man once and turned him into a monster. Even EQ had told her thousands of times that you have to be careful, and to punish Ahi, she locks Ahi in the washroom. By mistake, there is a fire in the bathroom, and EQ has to get her out to save her daughter. At this time, we see that they were on a boat and here comes his monster friend. Looking at this monster, EQ shoots it without knowing that it is his friend. The monster jumps in the water to escape. Now he, who saw that her mom killed her friend, thinks that her mom doesn't like monsters. She thinks that her mom wants her to go far away from her life. That's why she says to her mom, "You don't want to keep me with you, that's why I'm going." Saying this, she jumps into the water. EQ jumps into the water to save her, but she couldn't see he anywhere. The scenes suddenly shift to a flashback where he was born. After her birth, EQ feels that she has given birth to a monster. She should kill this monster, but before she kills it, Young-soo comes here. EQ leaves this girl here, whom Young-soo picks up and starts raging her. With every passing day, EQ began to realize that if Young-soo can raise her daughter, then why not her? She had never done anything like a monster. She was a normal person. Thinking this, EQ owns her daughter. Life starts to get better, but then one day some people attack her. EQ immediately goes to save her and sees that he was not harmed by this attack. On the contrary, she was standing and touching everyone to make a monster. Seeing this, she realized that she was wrong. Her daughter was a monster, and she was very sad to know this. She comes home with her daughter so that she can recognize her even when she become a monster. The scenes shift again in the present, and we see Ahi alive. Ahi is with Lee Yoon, who pushes her into a pit, and then Young-soo comes and saves her. After saving her, he immediately follows Ahi, but the man wearing grass clothes asks Lee Yoon to leave. Here, Young-soo asks Ahi that why do you do this? Why did you push that girl into the pit? Ahi says in reply, because I don't like that girl. She is evil and she always harm my friends, although my friends always save her. She tells Young-soo that humans are not good at all. Before, I used to think that humans are good like my mom. That's why I used to help my monster friends. But now I know that humans are not good at all. They think we are bad and treat us badly. She says, even my mom hurt me and now I will not go back to her. I don't need anyone. Now Young-soo leaves Ahi and goes to EQ because her house was on fire and she was injured. He quickly brings EQ out, and here EQ says, I lost. I thought I would fix my daughter, but she remained a monster. In response, Young-soo says it was not your fault, and during this, EQ becomes unconscious and Young-soo brings her out to save her. He brings her to Lee Yoon. They want to jive her first aid through the people living here, but they don't help them and shoot Young-soo. Fortunately, this bullet didn't affect Young-soo because he was a monster. They wanted to save EQ, so they bring her to their stadium pharmacy. Here, they didn't have an oxygen tank, but to save EQ, it was very important to give her oxygen. Her life was in danger because there was no oxygen tank. In her last moments, she wants to meet her daughter, so Young-soo somehow makes Ahi understand and brings her here. He meets her for the last time and holds her hand, but as EQ touches her, she turns into a monster and runs away. She was a monster with wings who killed everyone mercilessly. Young-soo starts fighting with her to stop her. Young-soo notices that EQ has no control over herself. She is half human and half monster, and because of this, she is suffering from pain. Young-soo kills her to set her free. After this, Young-soo comes inside the stadium, where Lee Yoon sees that the monster inside him is coming out. Before he can harm her, Lee Yoon picks up a stick. Young-soo's monster talks to Lee Yoon and tells him that Young-soo is very tired. If he stays like this, he will die soon, and I don't want this to happen. That's why now I have to occupy his body. The scene cuts and we are shown the signals of a monster inside the stadium. We know that Sergeant Tak was infected. Dr. Lim also knows this, and Dr. Lim says, I will change you into a special infectee. Because of this, you will never become a monster, but will stay in the human form. It is important to do this because none can control this place except for you. Chief G has kept a monster in a container outside, and it starts making a noise. These soldiers give this news to Sergeant Tak and say there is someone here who is monster. Now they all were gathered for blood tests. As it was Tak's turn, the lights went off, and no one discovered that Sergeant Tak was also infected. Sergeant Tak realizes someone deliberately cut off the lights, so no one suspects him. Meanwhile, they find a ring belonging to Chief G's daughter. Seeing this, Tak calls Chief G. Even though Chief G knows her daughter did this, she made her daughter do it, but pretends in front of Tak that she didn't know. At this time, she wants to save another infected man. After this chaos, she comes to a secret room with the infected man. She says if anyone discover that you are infected, they will end you. You won't be treated. If you want to stay alive, go to the basement. If you turn into a monster there, no one will notice. Listening to Chief G, he goes downstairs where a monster attacked him. The scene cuts and it is shown the next morning that Dr. Lim comes out of the stadium to find Young-soo with Tak, because now he has to make a vaccine with Young-soo's blood to make Tak a special infectee. A lot of monsters attacked them on the way. They were surprised to see this, and Dr. Lim says to Tak there was a common thing in the monsters that they can't talk to each other, but today they attacked as a team means they are behind something special. Now they reach their old lab and Dr. Lim sees a huge cocoon here. They also see many Meo-humans on whom they point gun and asks about Young-soo, but they don't know anything about him. On the other hand, Dr. Lim panics to see a man here. This man was in his human get-up. We didn't discover the reason behind him being panicked. Suddenly, that man changes himself into a monster and attacks Dr. Lim and says, I was your first experiment. Dr. Lim gets shocked to hear this. Meanwhile, the cocoon in the lab explodes and a new Meo-human emerges. It turns out to be Lee Yoon's brother, whom she had been searching for throughout the season. The season concludes with his reveal.